Hello everyone, it's Jane Mamalmi. Welcome to part 5 of my Kill a Kit series using this bright and cheery Sweet Safari kit. Now you can see again I have just scraps left. I'm going to be using the 3 photos that are still down on my mat, but I have these other photos because I know I want to do them next, and I'm going to pull out the scraps that I know I'm going to want to use with those photos. So those will be in next week's video on Tuesday. So today I'm documenting these photos of my husband and I and friends when we went floating on the river. This was one of our favorite things to do when we lived in Oregon, and I have quite a few photos of us floating, but not very many on the river because we don't bring our phones with us for obvious reasons. But this trip, we had friends with us that had waterproof pouches to put their phones in, and so they took a group photo of us, and so it was perfect to be able to document our love of floating. So I trimmed 2 of the photos down to squares just because I wanted to have them uniform in size, and then the other one is wider because it is a group photo. And now I'm pulling out these polka dot strips because they kind of reminded me of the inner tubes and of water drops in a way. And then I'm also pulling out the cloud strips because it was a nice day and the sky was pretty and all that. So those are what I felt would work to capture these photos. Now, since I'm using just strips, I'm going to use a little bit of mixed media to kind of spice up this background paper. I'm using just regular White Daisy cardstock, and in hindsight, I probably should have used watercolor cardstock, but if you don't have that, this White Daisy will work just fine. It just warps a little bit, so put it under some books and it will be fine. I'm using the packaging technique, so you saw me squish some of that Distress Oxide ink onto this plastic, and then I dripped some water onto it. Now, when I made this, I was away at a weekend retreat. I didn't have all my normal stuff, so I've got just a mug of water that I sprinkled on from my fingers. That works just fine. In my craft room, I probably would have used my little water sprayer, but this worked just fine. Just use what you have. One of the nice things about the Distress Oxide inks is that they react with water. So not only can we water it down to make it more runny to use as mixed media on your background, you're going to see how I drop some water on the background once I'm done to get a really cool water droplet effect as well. So just kind of pushing that around, smushing it down, getting all of that ink off. You can use every last drop. As you can see, my finger got pretty inky because I was using that as a tool, but we'll just wash that up and it will be good as new. So I let that dry for quite some time, and now I'm coming back with the gloss sprays. And first I'm using this aqua color and kind of tapping that around. You saw me use this gloss spray and do the same technique in the previous videos, so I'm just going to do that again. And I decided to also bring in 2 other blue colors. So I've got the ocean color and that dark navy color. I don't remember what they're called right off the top of my head, but I will link all of the products that I used down in the description below. So we've got this dark navy just to add a little bit more contrast and interest. These gloss drops are a nice touch along with that smushed background because it just adds to that kind of water, kind of like bubble splash kind of feeling that I'm going for. You're just going to want to make sure you shake it up really well because it tends to settle on the bottom. There is a ball inside that you can hear shake around, and that helps mix everything up as well. And then you're just going to take your little straw and tap it around. I feel like doing it this way gives me a little bit more control than actually spraying it out of the nozzle. Plus, these tend to get clogged. If you don't clean them really well when you're done using them, they get clogged. So for me, it's just easier to do it that way. So now I'm auditioning some blue papers to use behind my photos as mats and also to cut out the title from with some dies. I have no idea where these papers are from. They were in my stash. I'm not liking the lagoon. It just blended in with the background a little bit too much. I am liking this one. I like that the pattern on the paper is sort of has some movement and reminds me of water. So that's the one I'm going to end up using. But first I'm going to play around with some of these strips of paper. I'm just playing. I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. Just kind of sticking some strips around. I'm not liking how this is looking. The strips don't work like this because they have no relation to each other. It's not doing anything for the design. And so I'm just kind of coming back to this blue, and that's what I'm going to end up liking. So I've now decided that I want those strips along the top and bottom of the page, and that helps to define the area and kind of anchor it at the top and bottom. And then I cut mats for the photos out of that blue as well. I have this one sticker left from the sticker sheet, and so I'm going to tuck that down in the bottom. It says Explore Together, and I thought that was perfect. I had this blue piece, this little flag that I was trying to use, but just wasn't working out for me. Now I'm pulling in some stickers that I used in one of my other layouts, and they have all of these little dots on them. They're like little enamel dots, and I thought that they reminded me of water bubbles, and they were in 2 different blue colors. So I scattered those around the page, and I thought that that looked kind of cool. This is totally not my normal style. I went way outside my typical style, which was kind of fun because that is what killing this kit sort of forced me to do. It forced me to think outside of what I would normally do and work just with the supplies that I have left. And it was really fun. So I encourage you to try this if you have never killed a kit before, because it was pretty fun. So I've got all of those little bubble stickers around, just kind of, I used all the blues that I had. So now I'm just kind of making sure that everything is scattered evenly and kind of, draws your eye around the page. I'm always big on that. I want it to be kind of even, or at least draw your eye around the page, but kind of scattered in a way that makes sense and that the colors are distributed evenly. So I decided to add a little bit more to the top and bottom. I added a very, very skinny blue strip across the top between those 2 papers because those patterns kind of ran together. And then I added a little bit of lagoon down on the bottom. Again, I think that those help to define the area. And now I'm going to move on to my title. I use this simple serif die set, which I love for titles. It always seems to be just the perfect size. And I cut each letter out of 2 colors, a darker navy and then the same blue that I used as my photo mats. And I spilled out tubing. Only you'll see that I changed it at the end, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So I ended up doing some strip journaling. I thought it fit perfectly in that little space I had off to the left. I ended up having to move one of those bubbles, but it worked out just fine, and they ended up looking really good in that spot, and I just put that little bubble somewhere else. So I've never called this activity tubing. We've always called it floating. So when I was finished, I was like, of course, why did I put tubing? It's called floating. So I very carefully peeled all of those letters off, which had not quite dried yet, so it wasn't too hard. And then I changed the title to floating. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good ideas for your own scrapbooking. If you missed any of the previous videos from this series, I'll link them right here, and the supplies are linked in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.